What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show this week. Shane Sams here, and I cannot wait to help you learn how to earn your entire income online working from home and grow your impact out in the world through your online business. We've got a great show today. We've got a bunch of great questions right from our community. I'm going to answer their questions, and we're going to let you listen in so you can learn the tips, the tools, the tactics, the strategies, all the things that you need to go out and build your online business and your online dream as well. But before we do that, I want to share a can't miss moment with you. These are moments that I get to experience in my life that I'm so blessed and so grateful for that I would never have been able to do if I was still working that 9 to 5, if I was still living paycheck to paycheck. And I love to talk about these stories because it inspires me to keep working hard in my business. And I hope that it inspires you and shows you what's possible that you can build for you and your family too. This week's can't miss moment on the program is a little trip down to a place in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee that we call Smoky Mountain. Okay, so there's this place down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I don't know if you've ever been there. Some people call it Gatlinburg. Some people call it Sevier County. It is the home of Dolly Parton. It is Dolly's empire. That's what it is. There's a place there called Dollywood. There's all kinds of touristy stuff. There's go-karts and arcades and shows and museums and just all kinds of stuff, restaurants, and people come down there. It's like a vacation place. Beautiful mountains, lots of hiking trails, lots of cabins. There's some black bears running around out there in Smoky Mountains. And Pigeon Forge is a place that we go and kind of get away. It's where we get away to the mountains all the time. You know, if we're not really having feeling a big long vacation, we can run down to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevier County, Tennessee. We can go to Dollywood. We can do all that stuff. Well, back to school time has arrived. We got back to school coming up pretty soon. And when you hear this, it's probably already over. Our kids are back in school. And for all the parents out there, can I get a hallelujah and an amen? There's nothing better than when the kids go back to school and your life gets back to normal, right? You have a routine. The kids are going to bed. They're waking up. They're at school all day. I'm loving that. So maybe that should be my can't miss moment this week is the kids going back to school, right? There's some heads nodding in cars around the country right now who just dropped their kids off back to school. So, but what we love to do is we love to experience life with our kids and we love to bless them and we love to just go out and have fun. And we were looking at the calendar and we said, hey, what if we blew off work on this Friday before school started? And what if we said, forget about it, forget about work, forget about school, forget about anything else? What if we just jumped in the car that we could bring a couple of the kids' friends? We'll rent a cabana at this water park. It's called Smoky Mountain. They got awesome water slides and they've got a wave pool and they've got these great cabanas. They're huge. They're like a big giant living room that you can just rent all day. You got shade, you got TVs and radios and internet and all that good stuff. And then we got the kids to invite 2 of their friends. Each of them has a friend that they're going to bring with them. And that way we can go sit in the cabana. We can go chill. We can be adults. We can have some free time. We can enjoy each other. We can get some sun. And we can go ride slides with the kids. We can all wave. They can run around with their own friends and everybody's having a good time. So, you know, it's really cool to not only be able to just say, I don't have to work any day of the week I don't want to. I can run my business from the cabana. If I really wanted to, I could bring my laptop and just sit there and do it there. It's really cool to be able to have the extra money to be able to say, hey, kids, we're going to go do this and we're going to pay for 2 of your friends. That way you've got somebody that you can come play with and hang out with while we're there. And man, it's just an awesome, every time we schedule a trip like this, just a good day trip, we're going to drive down and drive back, but we're going to have a lot of good fun. And we have the freedom and the flexibility to do that. And that freedom and that flexibility comes from the fact that we took our ideas, turned them into an online business, went out and we earned our entire income online, went out and grew our impact, helping other people with whatever they're coming to us for. And that also trickles down and lets our family experience some cool stuff like Smoky Mountain this weekend. That's where we're heading out on Friday. But today I'm here to answer some questions about online business, to talk tactics, to talk strategies to help you earn your income online and grow your impact out in the world. So let's jump into our first segment and see what our first question is today. Paul Clifford. What's up, Paul? Paul just jumped in the house. There's one of our coaches, Paul. He's a Kajabi hero. It says it right there on his shirt. What do you got going on marketing? Got anything going on right now?
Yeah, I just ended my back to school sale, and so that was good. I've got a conference that I'm teaching at in September, and they wanted me to do a webinar, so I did a webinar for them, and they gave me everyone that registered on the webinar. They gave me their email address, so I got 100.
Did we talk about that? Didn't me and you talk about that at one time about getting all the emails and names from stuff like that? I think we had a conversation about that.
I can't remember, but
yeah,
it's always worth doing.
That's my fee, bro. The first thing I do if you want me to talk at a webinar or you want me to speak, the very first thing I say is, I was actually negotiating a speaking fee last night. And I was going back and forth on Marco Polo with a guy who runs a live event company, and I was telling him, he goes, what do you think? What do you want to charge me, or what do you want to get paid? And I was like, what do you think I'm worth? Because I ain't saying the first number, bro, right?
Right.
So, but then I said, I said, look, I'll definitely adjust my fee if you'll give me every name and email with an opt-in that's confirmed for every person that hears my voice, because leads, that's all it is, man. So how many leads did you get off that? Or how many leads do you think you'll get off that?
Well, I imported them all into Kajabi, and so I got 104 email addresses. So we'll see how many members that turns into. I would expect probably 1 or 2, which is worth it. Maybe as many as 5 or 6. So there you go. This is something that Monica Louie told me to do, is go through all my lead magnets and track who got what lead magnet and what percentage of those are members now. And I thought that it was going to be one of my regular lead magnets, or now with my Facebook group, as soon as someone joins, I ask them for their email address. So I thought it was going to be one of those webinars, and I had slacked out on the webinars. So when I realized, 5% conversion on webinars versus 2% on my Quick Start course,
have more webinars immediately, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty committed to webinars for the rest of the year. We're gonna do one a month. I mean, we're just gonna do them, period. But I think people view webinars wrong. Like, webinars are not the end all be all. It's not like you just do a webinar and everybody buys on the webinar. Everything you do every day should be, how do I get 3 members today? That's it. Everything you do. If you're going to send an email today, you should think in the terms of how it gets you a member. If you're going to post on Facebook today, it's a member. If you do a webinar the next day, the webinar is to get some members. So it's a part of this strategy that helps you get members all the time, not just like, oh my God, if this webinar doesn't do good, or my webinar only got a couple members. Like, it's a big part of the strategy, and it's like, you're still going to try to get email marketing. You're still going to have a sale. But yeah, webinars are going to convert more. They just are. And I view it like this. Let's say my goal is to get 100 members in a month. Okay. Or let's say my goal is to get 10 members in a month. Let's take it back to the beginning. I would view it more like this. If I'm going into the webinar with like 5 members, then I need to get 5 and I need to hit my averages. The webinar is like the average top per offer, right? And if you use it as a part of an overall strategy, you're gonna get more members. That's cool, man. Hey, I'm gonna go and jump in here and get some more questions, Paul. But thanks for talking shop and jamming with us. Tell everybody real quick about your business and what your URL is, so everybody knows what you're doing. They can kind of maybe they can go either check you out or hack your funnel, one way or the other. Yeah.
So my business, which is on Kajabi, is churchtechu.com. That's just the letter U, like short for university. And I help churches reach their redemptive potential using technology, especially ProPresenter and live streaming.
I need to take your course on ProPresenter so I can do something beyond caveman webinars in my life.
Yeah, you absolutely should be.
We are bringing Jessica up to spotlight for the first question.
Jessica, welcome. What is going on? What's your question? How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am a little under the weather. I'm not going to lie. I think there's some, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know if it's like, the latest COVID variant or whatever they're talking about on the news.
That's the type of stuff I help people with.
There you go. See, I maybe it's just my rampant paranoia that I'm going to get sick. And that's what I am. I usually stand during this show, like when I'm talking to people, but I'm sitting down today. I'm like a chilly little old man. I got my heater behind me right now. So I'm just sucking water down. But hey, listen, here's what I believe in my business. You're going to wake up feeling bad some days. And I believe it's what you do on the days you feel bad that actually move the needle. And so many people fail because they got the sore throat. They got the little cough. They're not feeling good. They got the little fever. Listen, If I'm in the hospital, I ain't going live. But anything short of that, we're probably going to do it. So let's roll. Let's make this happen.
I have an entire business based off the fact that my health failed me at one point in my life, and doctors couldn't help me, and I had to figure out my way out of it.
See?
And so I figured out my way out of it, and now I help other people do the same. And so
there you go. There you go. That was a great sales pitch. You just did your sales pitch for your entire business. You need to transcribe this episode and put that on your sales page. So that's good copy. That is great copy. All right. What's your question right now?
Well, so I have a list of about 76 people. I've got 13 memberships sold from that, and I'm trying to figure out where to focus next.
Yep.
So the majority of what I've sold have been from people who either personally have known me and known my story, and or they get to talk to me and they believe in what I do and then they buy. I'm not confident that my sales funnel itself, outside of if people talk to me, is working great, but I also obviously have a very small list, at 76 people. And so I feel like I'm doing a lot ad hoc right now, and I'm very much a systems person. I need to figure out my system.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should focus on the sales funnel first, or do I focus on growing the list first? And where do I really put my effort and energy at this point? And then how do I get that into a system?
All right. So one thing I want to comment, let me comment on a couple things here. One, your sales funnel is working. I don't care who got into it. Someone bought something. Right? If an offer converts, it's converting. So now there is an improvement that needs to be done in your funnels. Our funnels are constantly evolving. You will never, ever get to the end of that journey. Everybody's got to remember that. Your sales funnel, like the market changes, messaging changes. Now you're going to get it like I can throw up a sales page right now. I know it's going to convert because we have a checklist and we just do what it says. Then we make it better over time. So that is a part of the process. But after you get your minimum viable product out, after you get one thing to convert, the game is get more leads. I literally was writing down my plan for the next quarter. We don't really call them quarters. We do 16 weeks instead of 12. We call them cycles. But like I was making my plan for the next section, and I was looking at my calendar, and I was like, well, what's my best use of time every day, as the driver of the company? And basically I'm like, if I'm not doing marketing and sales from 9 to 12 every day, like I'm not growing. Like I have to find the next lead source. I mean, like yesterday, one of the things I was doing, I was thinking about leads. And I was like, okay, well, what can I do to get more leads? Number one, when I get on stage, I get names and emails. So I reached out to 3 people that I know are doing live events. I'm going to be speaking in Vegas next month. I'm going to be speaking 2 months from now in Nashville. And then I was working out a deal to maybe do an event in December, right? Because I know that gets me leads. That's one of my best places to get leads. My podcast, am I sharing my podcast on every social media network every day? The team, we got to figure that out. We got to figure out how more people can discover it. Are we spending ads on discovery? A lot of people don't want to. A lot of people teach sales funnels like, well, you've got to liquidate every dollar of ad spend. That means if you spend $5, you got to get an email and get someone to give you $5. But that's not true. Like eyeballs matter. Are you spending $5 a day on Facebook telling people about your podcast, or on YouTube telling people about your channel, right? So really now the game is you got to get more leads. Like that's you need to set a goal probably to get to 1,000 emails. And once you set that goal, it will orient your brain to figuring out that particular problem. And I'd say 80% of your time right now should be getting leads, like making content, getting and guesting, getting out there and getting leads, because it's just math, everybody. If more people are at the top of the funnel, more people come out the bottom. Don't get into the busy work of tweaking your funnel until you hundreds of people are going through your funnel, right? Okay. So that's where you need to focus that. So just on a follow up on that, like what do you think are 3 ways you could get more leads? Like what are you doing right now? What's your content strategy? What's your other strategies that you're doing on that?
Yeah, so I've been focusing mostly on, I'm in a lot of organic traffic is what I would say. So I've been in a lot of Facebook groups where I'm posting, I'm getting people that way, I'm getting attention that way, but it's slow. I've considered ads. I've started to connect with other people who have podcasts and looking at, getting, borrowing their audiences per se. Yep. I don't have my own podcast. I've just, tried to decide if I was ready to commit to that or not. I have struggled with if I create my own podcast, I feel like I have the same problem of people finding my podcast because the market is so flooded.
But hold on. One, two, stop.
Yeah.
One, the market is never flooded because you are a market of one.
Yeah.
Jessica,
Okay.
it's your personality. There's no market flooded, right?
Okay.
Number two, that's not true because the second you start creating content on YouTube or doing a podcast, search engines can find you based on the words you say and the things you're creating. Now, the algorithms will put you in front of the right people so people can discover you. And if you do this on YouTube, especially, you can run ads directly to your content to force yourself into front of people who are searching for the names of your podcast. Like if your thing is like New Hope Natural Healing, right? If someone types in natural healing and you go buy ads to target that keyword, when they type in natural healing, guess what they see? An ad for Jessica's show, right?
So do you think that I'm best to, I know you're obviously in favor of podcasts. I mean, am I better to start my own versus borrowing others' audiences? And
you have to do both. You have to do both. You have to do both. That's the way the game's played. So like, and I would, one thing that we have evolved into now is we are YouTube first. That's why this is now called a show and not a podcast. So like, Earn and Grow Show is what we call this, because the show can be anywhere. If I say the word podcast, it feels like I'm just repurposing on YouTube, and YouTube first is probably going to be better going forward because you can always just take the audio and make it a podcast.
Right.
But discovery happens in search engines, and YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. Relationship is built on the podcast because the podcast can be taken with people in the car, in the bathroom, at the gym, like wherever they go, right? So you have to do both. You have to have YouTube for discoverability. You have to have the podcast for the relationship. But remember, that's not double work. It's just taking the audio and airing it. That's where the relationship's built. And then both channels are designed for one thing: get people from your audience onto the email list where you can actually communicate with them, or into social media networks where you can do things too. Okay. Cool. Great question. Hey, give everybody real quick. Tell everybody your domain name real quick. We'll let you give yourself a shameless plug, and then we're going to grab another question. Okay.
NewHopeNaturalHealing.com.
Guys, we really are in the game of getting eyeballs and attention on everything that we do, because we want our stuff to be found. The funnel will take care of itself. Yeah, it's all about discovery, guys. If you're not getting found, then it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it absolutely doesn't matter. So the top of the funnel is where most of your focus is. If you'll notice inside of our blueprint, how we actually teach this is we start with an idea, and then we create a product offer, a minimum viable product. And then we get it in front of as many people as we can early, and then we start building an audience. We build the funnel backwards so that once you get all those foundation layers built, all you have to focus on is getting more people to see your stuff. You understand? Like, that's absolutely it. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that. So focus on your funnel, get more people at the top of the funnel, and you're going to be a lot more people coming out the bottom as well. All right, cool. Who we got next, Patricia? Who got next up? Who's got a question?
We've got Benjamin Hutton.
There we go. Benjamin, jump on up here. What's your biggest win from the last couple of weeks? And then tell us just a little bit about what's your business real quick.
So yeah, biggest win the last couple of weeks is I'm at about $500 a month in passive ad income.
Let's go. Give a hand there. We got some $500 a month in income. Well done, dude. That's awesome, man. That's a car payment.
Thanks.
You know that's good.
I started last year in the niche website space. And I've kind of horizontally just learned a ton about SEO, because I think that's the best way to learn SEO is doing your own website. I target low competition keywords and rinse repeat.
I will say this though, real quick about SEO. You got to be really careful. I was talking to some really high level people last week. We were in a mastermind setting and we were talking about this, and AI is going to kill SEO. SEO is going to be, it may be a year, maybe 5 years, but I have a buddy who had a multi-million-dollar blog with SEO, and he basically his revenue has dropped insanely, like hundreds of thousands of dollars already, because you can go to ChatGPT and say, write me something that's, totally SEO friendly about this topic. And people are flooding the market with that crap. So what we really want to do is get you a product, get you something going monthly, get where you're serving people and you're talking to humans and they're paying you every month. So let's work on that, Benjamin. What's your question?
Yeah, so I guess my kind of question is, how would you approach like a hyper niched kind of travel site? Because it's really about the Southeast. Because I live in Georgia. What are some ways to kind of expand that? I've heard about trying to create a digital product. As far as like kind of a locals guide.
What is the result of this for the person? Let me give you a couple examples, then we'll talk about your result. So whenever you come up with your idea, like the first step is always the idea. Like, well, I want to do a podcast about the Southeast and I want to build a business around this. Cool. What is the result for the listener? That you have to know that question. Like our result ultimately is we want people to go out and build an online business that can replace their income, right? And how do you do that? You get 100 people to pay you $50, or you get 100 people to pay you $100, or you get 200 people to pay you $50. We do it with the community membership model, right? That's the result that happens when you join our program. So you got to have that result too. So we have 2 people from our community. Their names escape me, but I do know what their businesses are. One lady was named Yolanda. It was years ago. She had a very niche travel website on helping people who had an affinity for Tibetan culture, right? And their ultimate goal was to travel to Tibet. So what she did was she created a membership, and the membership was all about Tibetan culture. So it was a gathering place of people who love Tibetan culture. They shared recipes. That was their unifying factor. Like they shared recipes from Tibetan food in this membership. So they would come together. She would cook a recipe like once a week in her membership on air, almost like a cooking show. And everyone would love that. But then her house was Buddhist and they had like Buddhist monks and stuff. And so it was like all Tibetan culture. And then there was the higher ticket strategy, right? We have our membership. She had X people paying $25 a month to be in the Tibetan membership. And then the ultimate thing was she was a travel agent and she would make money, like an X percentage of people would come through her membership and they would pay her basically to plan their pilgrimage to Tibet to go and, see the Buddhist culture and all of that stuff there. Okay. Now we've got another guy in the community and his name totally escapes me. I cannot remember his name because we've had thousands of people come through this place, but his was hyper niche. It was the Outer Banks, which is in North Carolina. Is that right? I think that's in North Carolina. Yeah. So he had a thing where it was like a membership of people who traveled there all the time and they just needed to know what was going on, an up-to-date kind of thing. But then I think he also his second tier strategy was to go around to the local places and sell advertising on his website. So his whole podcast, his whole thing, everything was about the Outer Banks, right? And so people traveling to the Outer Banks, going to the Outer Banks, they would go in and they would do that so they could be a part of that. So what we've got to figure out, you've got to figure out, we may not figure out right now, is what is the ultimate result for these people that are going to be following your brand? What do you think that might be right now?
I think the ultimate result is that we have a ton of people moving to the community. The city's grown a lot. And so having, 20 plus years of knowledge of living in the community. Like
what city?
It's Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. That's where the Masters is, isn't it?
Yeah. And so that is really kind of what it's at, because I don't know, you can kind of forget what you know having lived in a place for 20 years, or some folks who kind of filter in and out are not aware. You know what I mean? Like if you're brand new.
Yeah, I think what I would probably do in this particular case is you're probably going to do a free community strategy, right? Because if people are moving in, or I've seen this done a couple of different ways, where you have like a free community that leads to money later, right? So you have a free thing that's got a lot of like videos and content that people can watch about especially if they're moving in, like how to move to Augusta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? You could give away that content and then monetize it off the back end with something else, right? You could even do coaching. That could possibly work. Like you could coach people who are moving into the area to get them up to speed. Like that could be something. So imagine you have like a free Facebook group that's just people who love Augusta, Georgia, want to move there. You have a website that's everything that's going on in the town all the time. And then maybe you sell coaching to people who are moving in, you know? This one might be a little too small for an actual membership, but I'm not saying it is. We need to probably think about that. That's probably going to take more time to talk about. You said the Southeast though. Why so hyper focused on Augusta, Georgia? You could start with Augusta, Georgia, and then spread it out to the Southeast.
Yeah, because the idea, I think hyper niche travel sites are doing well now because it's a lot harder to replicate if you're not, you know, in the
you are going to get the SEO on that for sure.
Yeah, and so and it's been interesting because I outrank sites like Yelp and TripAdvisor with a domain that's got very low ranking, like authority, and so. But anyways, it's kind of the idea of anything within a couple hour drive is kind of fair game to talk about because, you know, we're 2 hours from the best beaches on the East Coast. So like Savannah, Charleston, Hilton
See, you could
Head.
probably start with Augusta, Georgia, and then you could expand to those other cities, and it would be very similar to that. So that your money making opportunities are probably building a traffic, dominating the traffic. Anyone that comes to any of those cities comes to your site. You have a free community strategy because I'm stressing to everybody right now. AI is coming for us all. Like if you're not building a human community strategy into everything you're doing with your online business in the next 5 years, you will not survive on content. Content is going to build relationship. It's not there necessarily to even instruct anymore. And curation of that content is going to be infinitely more valuable because content is a commodity now because ChatGPT can do anything we can do. So free community, build a huge thing around that and then monetize it off the back end. And maybe we can brainstorm that more like in the forums. Okay. So great question. Everybody give a hand to Benjamin. Ben, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate you, dude. Guys, the thing about our methodology that we're doing right now, you know, in this business is it's all about humanity. It's all humans. You should be automating as much as you can on the marketing and sales side of your business. You should be scheduling emails. You should be doing all that stuff. And you should be using AI to help you write all your copy, all your content. You write the first draft and let it help you get better. Okay. 100%. You should do that. And everything starts at community. Everything starts at memberships. Free memberships are a thing, but you've got to build a community around the idea. That's what's going to work. And outside of your business, when you're marketing, when you're doing sales, of course, automate, batch, content explosion, all the things that we teach. But as soon as someone gives you money, it should become more community driven. It should become more mom and pop feeling, right? Because human connection is going to win. That's what's going to let people outlast everything in the next 5 years. People are sick of being behind computers. They're sick of being alone. They're sick of constantly being connected through text messages and all that stuff. People want face-to-face. People need people, like it says in the chat by Carrie Kitchen, right? So start even when you're doing something a little bit different on the monetization side. I don't care. I don't care if you make money with monthly memberships, coaching programs, whatever you do. It's all community. Everything is membership means community, and you need to be building it around that. Cool. All right, cool. Let's see who's next. Who we got next on the show here, Patricia?
We're going to try RV Mama of 4.
Come on, Christine. Let's make that tech work today. It's working. She got it. Yay! She's in an RV somewhere in the middle of nowhere, so we got to figure out what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Look at that RV. Man, you can show me that. If you're on YouTube, we're seeing a nice RV here, right? I want an RV so bad, but Jocelyn likes 4-star hotels. She said we're not getting an RV.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to talk. I need a 4-star. I need a 5-star RV, like from RV Mama. That's what I need. How you doing, Christine?
I'm doing great. I am working so hard over here trying to do all the things you said on the podcast, and I am making progress. So I'm excited.
Cool. That's awesome. What's your biggest win from the last couple of weeks in your online business?
So yesterday I created the checklist that you told me. It was I call it my RV Bible. I kept my real Bible inside and my and my checklist outside. And basically it teaches people how to hook up their tow vehicle, unhook it up, set up everything when you get to camp, and then tear everything down. So I've got it priced. I got my offer. I got it all done, but now I don't know what to do with it because it's like a $10 offer. So where do I put it? Like, I don't know.
Everywhere anyone can hear your voice. Like, so I'll give you an example of this. Okay. All right. So we are Kajabi partners. Often we are one of their top 10 affiliate promoters, right? We get into the top 10 whenever we're doing a promotion, like pretty hardcore. I think we finished 4th in this last promotion that they did, right? So we were in there. They did this flash sale, right? Basically, where it was a 60-day free trial to Kajabi. It was a great deal, right? Like you can literally go in for 60 days and build everything, okay? So I'm just like you. I've got this new offer in my hand. What do I do with it, right? Mm-hmm. So I sat down and I wrote down all the places that I could share or that I wanted to share this, right? And the 4 things that I came up with, I had to do it. It was quick. It was only like a 24-hour sale. And I was like, crap, Carrie, my director of operations, sent me a message. And I was like, oh no, I missed it. Like I forgot about it. Right. And I was like, so I had 3 hours left in the promotion when I was sat down. I was like, oh no, I've got to do this right now. So I wrote down 4 places that I wanted to share it, right? That we promote. One was inside of the community, because I knew people in our community hadn't signed up for anything yet to start their website, so they need it, right? The 60-day trial. The second place was through my email list. Okay. The third place was Twitter, because I wanted to post it on Twitter. I like Twitter. And then the 4th place was on Facebook, because that's where we have the most followers right now. Okay.
Okay.
I thought about doing it on YouTube too, but I didn't have time in this particular instance, right, to go make a video for YouTube. So I just didn't do it. It was a time issue. But if I had more time, then we would have put it on our Instagram. We would have put it on YouTube, whatever. I just wrote down all the places. And then I just went and shared it everywhere. But it's not just that. You can't just share it once. You got to say, like, every Monday for the next 7 weeks, I'm going to share this. Or I'm going to share this like every day in all these places for the next X days. And I'm going to see like if people do it. For you, as you're growing your audience too, it could be a thing you take with you to places, right? Like you could say, if you go, I know you do other people's podcasts and you're connecting with other influencers and RV companies and things like that.
Yeah.
Anyone that will give you a microphone, say it. Hey, I've got this cool book. It'll show you how to hook up your thing. You can go to this website and get it, but don't mention the price. Just say what it is. Okay. So basically just write down a list of everywhere you can share it first, right? Okay. And then maybe start an ad at $10 a day and see if you can sell 1 a day to make it up. And that's going to be a lead that's going to get people. That's a really good lead. If someone pays you $10 for that book, then that's a very likely candidate for your membership too. Okay. And as always, as we talk about, Christine's a regular here on the show. She's a regular in the thing. We've had a lot. We've met in person. We've hung out live. Focus. Make the list and do it before you get distracted on anything else. Does that make sense?
That does. Yeah. And so I'm really using that $10 a day thing to promote my membership, because that's where I was getting confused of. But what about the membership that's over here? So this is really
it's called that. Okay. So that's called a tripwire. That's called a tripwire. So what happens is we spend 75% of our time on discovery. How do we get more people to find us? That's where your brain has to go 75% of the time. Okay. Maybe 50 to 75%, depending on what you're doing. The next thing we want is for people to follow us on social, join our email list, whatever it is. We need them to raise their hand that says we want to be in communication with each other. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You can go straight to membership if you want to, or you can use what's called a tripwire. A tripwire is basically like, holy crap, I've got someone that got their wallet out. What do we do? So here's how a tripwire strategy works. Often this is tied to ads. So you've got let's say you've got the ad going for $10 a day. You want to sell at least 1 a day. So that pays for the ad. Okay. So that's called a tripwire. When they buy the thing, you immediately offer them an upsell to your membership. You've got someone who's already got their wallet out. So you want to immediately offer them the next thing for sale. It's an upsell. So what happens is in Kajabi, how you set this up is you've got them. Let's say someone opts in for your email list. You create a funnel and you have an opt-in, and the next opt-in basically goes to the tripwire. Hey, thanks for joining my email list. Before you check your email, I got this $10 book. It's amazing. If they buy that, they immediately go to a one-click upsell, so they don't have to type their credit card in again. And that one-click upsell joins your membership. Try it out, right? Okay. A great strategy for that too is because you want to get their credit card on a membership is if they buy that $10 book, give them 1 month free in your membership. It's a free trial. They can just click it and go, and then they can go in and they can see how awesome it is, and then they will stay the second month hopefully.
Yay, this is so exciting. I got my work cut out for me this week.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you so much, but that's new today. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
There you go. So that's it. That's how you build the funnel. And real quick, because listen, I want to give you, I meant to actually send you a message in the forums and I forgot to tag you. But we just had on a Facebook post, another person, who was it that I shared the other day, one of our success stories. They went to one of our seminars and they have an RV business. I can't remember. But anyway, I'll tell you, she has a business a lot like yours. It's RV lifestyling.
Okay.
She just hit 2,500 members inside of her membership and her RV membership. So if you, we can post it in the forums if we can remember it. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember her name.
Tara had one. That's not
Tara,
her, is it?
Yes, Tara. What's Tara's last?
Eitman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
there it is.
With her. Shane, we're meeting up cross country.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Masterminds forming inside the community at all times, baby. Connecting people so they can get together because it's all about abundance and collaboration around here. So Tara just posted the other day that she's got like hundreds and hundreds of members.
Wow.
So that's what I'm talking about. I mean, like this is totally in your wheelhouse. It's totally possible. So I just wanted to share that big win that we had from another member in a similar space. And that's awesome. You guys are meeting together. I think of Nicole Whitworth and Brooke Butcher, two amazing members of our community. They started nursing websites to help nurses pass nursing school. And they collaborated together in the beginning to support each other because none of us can serve all the customers out there. And all of us are just carving out our niche. So real quick, Christine, tell everybody your website.
It's rvmamaof4thenumber.com.
All right, y'all, that wraps up the live portion of today's show. But before I go, I love to grab an extra question from our community forums. We've got forums open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, a virtual mastermind of online entrepreneurs who are answering questions, asking questions, hanging out with each other. And we've got a good one for you today. Today's forum question comes from Kathy. Kathy says, my avatar is on Facebook, according to my research, but I'm not really on Facebook a lot. I don't use the actual platform. I'm willing to give it a shot. So what do I need? Do I need a business page? Do I need a personal page? Do I need my profile? Do I need a group? Is there only one option? It seems like there's a lot going on Facebook. What do I need to do first? I am going to vote all of the above here, Kathy. You do have a personal profile on there. That is always a tool you can use to grow your business. I'm not saying you have to post stuff about your online business everywhere on your Facebook page, your actual profile page, but it's a very good tool. You can totally use that for it as well. But you should set up a business page for your online business because a business page will let you run ads on Facebook. So you can go in and you can run ads. You can get, you can pay to promote your business and your brand. And another really powerful option right now is Facebook groups. You can set up a Facebook group. You can name it very specifically. Like mine might be entrepreneurs who want to make money online. And I could start a Facebook group and people would start joining that group and I could promote that group and we could hang out in there as well. But it really just takes seconds to go up and set up a business page, set up a Facebook group, and then also to set up those Facebook ads so that you can fuel the fire and make it go faster. And there's a bigger question here that you really didn't ask, but I'm going to touch on is my avatar is on one social media network and I don't use that, right? So should I go and should I market? Should I be a part of that social media platform if I'm not actually using it all the time myself? Yes, you should. Remember, you've got to go fish in a pond where there are fish if you're going to catch fish, right? So of course, we want you to use the social media platforms of your choice. Of course, we want you to go out and do that. But sometimes, guys, you've got to look and say, where are my customers? Kathy has done the research. She sees customers on Facebook. You need to be on Facebook because that's where your customers are. So if you want your business to grow, then you will go where your customers are. All right, y'all. That is all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next time with a bunch of great content to help you move your online dream forward. Make sure you tune in every single week so you can earn your income online and you can grow your impact out in the world. Until next time, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to change your life. We'll see you then.